Welcome back to the PhazeCast, everybody. We're going to be talking about movie-based video games. We hit on this subject a couple episodes back, or a few episodes back. Whoever knows when this airs. Put it up there, Eric. I'm giving you work. Put when this airs and when we filmed, and give me a trumpet here. And I also want a little dinosaur running across both of the screens.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do any of that. Joe,
Fuck.
how is your Christmas and or New Year's?
Didn't happen yet. I'm dating this. Eric decided to change his sweater. I decided I wasn't going to change anything. I put my hair down. We just got finished talking about Spider-Man for 45 minutes. And this is the spoiler-free version of that. It's fucking good. Go see it, dumbasses.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, go see it.
Go see it. It's great.
My Christmas was great. I got a pony for Christmas.
Didn't happen. You never got a pony for Christmas.
And
anyway,
everybody told me how cool I am. So, video game based.
Yeah. Movie-based video games.
Movie-based video games.
What is a movie-based video game, Eric?
Well, a movie-based video game is a movie that is a direct tie-in to, or a video game that is a direct tie-in to a film to basically sell the film. I would not count things that stray from the plot that are prequels, sequels, whatever, like The Thing or the Chronicles of Riddick game. But we're talking things like Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man or Spider-Man 3. Where they tie directly into the story of the film. Or Shrek 2 is another one that sort of extends the story. I feel like extending the story is acceptable in this case. But typically I feel like these kinds of games are not
don't
that
exist
good.
That much anymore.
They don't, and that's what made me think about this is that we were talking a little bit about Shrek 2, the game, and then I thought, when was the last time that they even did that? And I couldn't.
That would be this year.
What was it?
Space Jam: A New Legacy.
There's a video game for space. Maybe it's just because I'm not 10.
Maybe
it's just because I'm not 10 anymore and I'm missing
all
one.
right. I don't know if that, I know that it's listed. I don't know if that game is out. It's made by Digital Eclipse, which means nothing to me.
That's bizarre.
But we also have stuff like the Lego Movie 2, the video game.
So, and Lego games are a completely, I mean, I guess that counts because they do follow the story of the movie, but they've got their own style and everything to them.
Yeah.
They're their own giant franchise, and they're usually good. Even the Lego Movie game was all right, cool.
Mm-hmm. And what they did recently with movie-based video games, before it used to be a whole genre, I feel, right?
Yeah.
Growing up, it was. We for every Spider-Man movie that
you get a game
out, we got a game.
Yeah.
For every Shrek movie that came out, we get a game. Yep. Movie come out for kids, you get a game.
Series of Unfortunate Events. Shark Tale, you're right.
Shark Tale's had one. Series of Unfortunate Events. I don't know if a lot of them were actually good.
I don't think, no.
Toy Story had a Toy Story. Every Toy Story had a video game.
Toy Story 2 was a good game.
Tangled had a video game?
Yeah, it did. I don't really recall what it was like. I don't think I ever played it. But Toy Story 2, let me tell you, Toy Story 2 I think is one of the better video game or movie video games.
Okay.
And I think it kind of, you do it all from the perspective of Buzz Lightyear. So he's trying to save Woody. So it doesn't exactly follow the plot of the movie, but there's some cool stuff in that game. It's a good 3D platformer.
There was a Last Airbender video game. Not Avatar: The Last Airbender, but
the M. Night Shyamalan.
The movie M. Night Shyamalan shitty Last Airbender. Oh, you know of it? Did you play it?
I know of it. I have not played it because that movie makes me very sad sometimes.
All the Iron Man's got a game. How to Train Your Dragon got a game.
But I feel like that's sort of the peak of it, right? Is it's the mid 2010s maybe that they They don't do that. They didn't do it as much.
Yeah, they stopped doing it. It's still like a thing, obviously, but there was a time, back in the prime of our childhoods, where a movie came out, video game came out with it, and I went to the Hollywood Video. I rented that game for a week, and I beat it in like day 2, usually.
Because they're short.
They're not. Yeah, they're short. Except
short
for
little cash grabs.
Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2
is a great game.
Spider-Man
with
2
a lot of extra side missions with characters that don't make it in to the fucking movies. And without Spider-Man 2's web swinging, we wouldn't have the new Spider-Man game's web swinging engine at all. It really was very good for its time. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me.
It holds up. I've played it recently, and it's still fun. And that game like sets the standard for the web swinging in like all Spider-Man games.
And not in the new Avengers version of Spider-Man.
Oh Lord!
Which, if you've seen,
I've seen the footage of the way I've
Spider-Man.
seen the footage.
Master Chief is a better Spider-Man than the fucking original Spider-Man. Holy shit!
It's not good. I think that probably Spider-Man 2 is like my all-time favorite movie video game. Because you're right, it does a good job of following the story of the movie, and then bringing in a bunch of other Spider-Man villains. It's just a fucking good time. And seriously, like the web swinging in that is like the pinnacle of.
Well, no, it wasn't.
Well, at the time.
At the time, it was amazing. It was so fun to do.
And it is the standard, I think.
When you feel like pendulum and movement had weight in a fucking PS2 game, oh god.
Did you ever play the PS1 Spider-Man, like the comic book Spider-Man?
Oh yeah, I love that game.
Yeah,
I love that game. You get to unlock the different suits. All the suits have different powers. I always played the Venom suit because I didn't want to run out of webs.
Oh, is that what happened with the Venom suit?
Yeah, Venom suit, because they were natural. They just came out of the suit. So you never ran out of webbing.
The symbiote has the stuff.
Yeah.
But that game, like, it's mostly on the ground from what I remember. Like, you go through buildings.
You do go from buildings, but the buildings, the upper floor building areas are always like, okay, we do it.
It's like on a track a little bit where
you did have to like have the ability to have your web go somewhere though. I think you couldn't be on a roof and just randomly. I don't remember that game a lot. The thing I remember about that game the most is the ending, because you fought Doc Ock Carnage, which is crazy, and that when you guys are leaving the scene, it's you getting saved by Captain America, and then Venom's in the back, and Venom's like, Spider-Man, could you ask him if we could have the Captain's autograph? And I'm like, this is great. Oh, Venom, you crazy person. You've eaten people.
but he also tries sometimes.
Yeah.
I never beat that game because I'm bad at games.
Oh, it's you can probably beat it now.
Yeah, I own it, so
go back and play it.
I should try it because that's a fun game. You know which game though did have where you could just web anywhere was the first Spider-Man movie game. It had like sort of an open world rooftop thing, and you just sort of webbed over the rooftops.
Over the rooftops. That's so stupid. You did not pick up speed either. You just did this, I think.
Yeah, it was there was no like momentum to it. It was like, here we go, we're going this way.
Yeah.
But that game though, the combat in that game was all right, and having to select like different types of like web. I think they had like the
we
web
got the best
bombs
version of that game with the new Spider-Man ones on the PlayStation right now.
Oh yeah, that game.
Fuck, do I love it. And they do the same thing. They do the different spider techniques, the different abilities.
You have a ton.
The web swing in that game feels so good.
Oh my god,
could web swing and be happy.
I do sometimes. I love those games.
That opening, that video game where it's like you just jump out and all of a sudden, oh, you're playing. Oh, this isn't a cutscene. Oh, I'm playing. I'm Spider-Man. Feels so good.
You have to take down the Kingpin.
So Eric, I have a list. I have a list over here.
Okay.
And this list is a list of video games based off of movies.
Okay.
I'm going to go from the very beginning.
What is the first one?
The very first one, I believe, is canceled.
Oh, there's E.T. though early on.
No, so the very first game was Batman: The Dark Knight, the video game by Pandemic Studios.
Not a direct one. Move on.
Okay. Star Trek: Phaser Strike.
No, not a direct. Find the first, it's just the title of the movie.
Alien, 1982.
Oh shit,
video
Alien.
game. Alien, yes. It was a maze video game for the Atari 2600.
For the 2600, wow.
Uh-huh.
I knew there was like
It's
an
a
Alien
maze
game on the
game.
Jaguar. No, that's Predator, maybe. I don't know. Maybe
It's just
Alien
a
and
maze game. I feel like you just... So looking at it, it looks like Pac-Man, but terrible.
Predator.
And then it also like has just like a person in what looks like chompy bits. It looks like Frogger in this scene. So we've been doing this a while, everybody. I think is the point.
I wonder, I mean, and so that, I feel like, is the thing even in, like, the Atari era, is, like, making sure that the title screen has, like, the characters that you recognize, they have, like, slides where they describe the plot that's going on. It was a big deal.
The cartridge has just the poster.
Right.
The cartridge is the poster, and that's the thing. Other movie-based video games that came out in 1982. The hilariously unfortunate E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Also for the Atari. This is all for the Atari 2600, I believe. We have
so bad that they buried it in a landfill.
They literally buried it in a landfill. If you don't know this, go look this up, everybody. We don't have time to talk about it, but it's a game so awful that they buried it in a hole in the ground, and that other video game based comedy shows and other stuff have made references to it since then.
And it also halted. It is widely considered part of the reason that the video game market nearly collapsed because E.T. was so bad.
Yeah. Then we had Raiders of the Lost Ark. That got a video game.
Cool.
Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back.
I feel like
1982 video game.
Is Raiders a side-scrolling game?
I think Raiders was.
I feel like that was a Pitfall-esque, and you have to whip snakes game.
No, the player. This game required the player to use two different controllers.
Why?
Controller 2 moves Jones and its button uses an item, and Controller 1 selects the item to use and its button drops the item.
Oh, we should co-op play that sometime.
I do not want to play an Atari game. I never. The player must cross a mesa, on the other side of which lies the map room where the location of the Lost Ark is revealed. And it's just item collection and going into rooms. It's an old school game. It's an old school game.
Gotta collect them.
Then there was the Empire Strikes Back's 1982 version of the game. That was when I think you were Luke Skywalker in a snowspeeder trying to take down an AT-AT. I think that was the whole game.
It was like
Now remember, these are
ship perspective. Is that correct?
I never played. Yes, but it's an Intellivision game too. These aren't in depth. But speaking of, there was a Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game released in 1982 as well.
I didn't know that.
The player takes on the role of the movie's chainsaw-wielding villain Leatherface.
Oh, that's fucked up. You play as Leatherface?
Yeah, you attempt to murder people while avoiding fences, wheelchairs, and cow skulls.
That shit probably didn't help anybody's case in the 80s when parents were like,
each victim
this is the devil.
Gives the player 1,000 points. They receive additional fuel for their machine gun every 5,000 points.
He has a machine gun?
I'm not machine gun, a chainsaw. His
Okay.
chainsaw runs out of fuel.
Okay.
So basically, you were just running around killing people to make sure your chainsaw never runs out of gas.
Leatherface with a machine gun.
Tron.
Okay.
In 1980 is the last of the 1982 video games.
And so that's an interesting. That is not really.
That's a lineup, right? For the first hey, a bunch of video games based on movies. A lot of them. We had 2 Atari. We had one was a Parker Brothers game. That was the Star Wars one. We don't know who developed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game.
Why the fuck?
Other than it was published by Wizard Video.
Okay, that's weird.
And E.T. was done by Fox Video Games.
But it started working immediately, I feel like. If a kid sees, there's friggin' Indiana Jones in this game, they're going to be like, I want
Well,
that.
yeah, and then we get other things. We get... I hate that I have to sell this to you. I hate this. There was a Dark Crystal video game made by Sierra Online, who I do love, Sierra Online.
I love the Dark Crystal.
I know you love the Dark Crystal, and that's as far as... What the fuck am I looking at the gameplay? It's a Sierra Online game, so it's definitely a story-based, like, game, is what it is. It's
I don't really think that...
You type in what happens, and your character does the action. Like that thing.
So they may have done them up at Name Justice.
They did a Halloween video game. James Bond 007 in 1993.
Is the Halloween video game from the perspective of Michael Myers? Because that's sort of an interesting...
I mean, it's from the perspective of pixels. Like, I think there's 20 pixels to make up that character.
It could be anybody. It could be Jamie Lee Curtis.
None of the main characters in the game were named.
Interesting.
Players take on the role of a teenage babysitter who tries to save as many children from an unnamed knife-wielding killer as possible.
Okay. So that's, I feel like, an interesting thing that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is from the perspective of Leatherface.
In another effort to save money, most versions of the game did not even have a label on the cartridge. It was simply a piece of tape with Halloween written in marker.
This is just depressing.
The game
I feel like that's
more
E.T.'s
gore
fault.
than the film, however. When the babysitter is killed, her head disappears and is replaced by blood pulsating from the neck as she runs around exaggeratedly.
That's fucked up.
The game's primary similarity to the film is the theme music that plays when the killer appears on screen. Oh,
that would be kind of cool. Dude, that would
stop.
scare me.
This is it wouldn't scare shit. It's a fucking pixel-ass, stupid-ass...
If I were a kid in the 80s and I got the Halloween game and they started playing that theme music, I would get scared.
There was a Porky's video game. What? The fuck? The player controls the film character Pee-wee as he attempts to blow up Porky's bar. In order to do this, Pee-wee must collect a series of objects which are hidden inside a shower room. Oh, it looks like Mario Brothers and Pac-Man had a terrible baby. And they have like a weird pixelated Porky's bar on top.
Pac-Man's the one.
Return of the Jedi Death Star battle from Parker Brothers. I think that's also just like you fly. You go up and down and dodge and shoot.
The Tron game, too, is just the light cycle game from Tron. Which is pretty cool, because it's sort of like an in-universe reference.
Listen, all these 1983 games, not my
We're
favorite.
only in 1983!
Only in 1983. Actually, this one Star Wars one looks crazy.
The Death Star one?
No. This one is called Star Wars 19... Oh, that's because it's an arcade game. That doesn't count.
No, that doesn't count.
Like, you're in an arcade thing and you're shooting stuff.
Take it home.
Rocky. Super action boxing.
Rocky, there's just Rocky for the NES.
Well, we haven't gotten to the NES yet. So
Lord.
This is all still the Atari. Cloak and Dagger, like the movie Evil Dead. The Evil Dead had a video game?
The Evil Dead has a couple of games. I didn't know that they had one that early.
Oh, it looks terrible. It looks like Mario and Legend of Zelda had a baby.
You know, there's Evil Dead. What's the one that I have? Regeneration, I think. That's a good game. It's on the Xbox. It's not
the
it's
Ghostbuster Activision. Okay, I guess the whole point is that there's a shit ton of movies, right, that had video games made from them.
I'm telling you,
starting all the way from 1979, 1982.
It worked, and they milked it like crazy.
Yes, they sold a bunch of shit video games. Let's be real. From like Aliens 2 to like Howard the Duck had a video game. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Nice.
I don't know. I remember the Goonies video game, and it was trash.
I don't know the Goonies. You know what? You mentioned the Star Wars Atari games, but the ones that I know are the Super Star Wars.
Nintendo.
The Super Star Wars series doesn't really follow the... I mean, I guess it vaguely
No, it doesn't.
does.
I remember my favorite part of Star Wars is when Luke Skywalker is running across a desert, shooting his double blaster, and finding giant worms. That's
or when he has
favorite.
to climb the side of the sand crawler and, kill all the Jawas. Yeah. That's great. But it does put you in similar settings in an order that follows the movie, right? So it do that because you start in the desert, you go to the Sandcrawler, you go to the Death Star, you do all that stuff in those games, in that one game, and the game those are hard as hell, dude.
Oh yeah, the Super Star Wars games are super hard. I don't know why. They made an All Dogs Go to Heaven video game.
Hell yeah. I would play the shit out of that. When
Willow.
Play as a couple dead dogs.
I'm going to just start talking. You know what? I'm going to say a game, and you're going to guess the year.
All right.
Sound
Fine.
Willow.
1986.
88.
Ah!
Which is fine. What is this? Willow looks like an old fantasy RPG. From
Really?
the screenshot. And they definitely, for the art, they still... Oh my god, they gave him really big lips. They gave Patrick Warwick some thick lips. And, like, beautiful Fabio hair.
Can we get some thick lips on the screen?
Some thick lips. That's your job.
I'll put them there.
Good.
Put
Give us all... okay. Let's do Indiana
Warwick
Jones
Davis's...
and the Last Crusade, the graphic adventure.
That's like text to whatever. You know, it was a text game that I played that was based, I guess, on a TV show.
Yes, we only play it once.
Was the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, that was a good one.
And the text game was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was very, like, you know, on point humor for that series. My favorite, though, I'm going to skip ahead from your giant list and tell you about one of my favorite ones, which is sort of why I brought this up in the first place, is Peter Jackson's King Kong.
Dude, that game was actually rad.
That
game was rad.
It was ahead of its time in a lot of ways, too.
I don't know about that, but it was rad.
Let me explain to you why I think that.
Please.
You have to sneak around quite a bit in that game, and utilize the environment in a way that sort of became a bigger thing. It hadn't really become a thing yet. I guess I don't remember when Metal Gear Solid 3 came out.
Metal Gear Solid 1 did that, and they did that. Like, all the Metal Gears have been about sneaking.
Yeah, they've all been about sneaking.
They came out way before 2005, but...
They've all been about sneaking, but Metal Gear Solid 3 was the one where it was like, you really have to, like, find food and go through the brush and...
Peter, you didn't have to find food in that game, in the King Kong game.
No, in the King Kong game, though, you do have to kind of, like... And it's basic, but you have to find, like, weapons and stuff. Like, there are stakes in the ground that you can grab. To kill the dinosaurs and stuff, and you have to kind of
and things.
You have to like be more resourceful than like really any movie video game that I have ever played.
Yes.
And it's pretty impressive, and the graphics too. I mean, I don't think that they would hold up.
No, but they're still good.
They're good.
Decent.
It had no business being that good, and still followed, I guess, the story of the movie, which was an okay movie. It was fine. What do you got on your list? You seem engrossed in your list.
I was looking at the King Kong game, and I'm like, it was not about stealth. And why are you making a comparison to fucking Metal Gear? It just seemed weird.
You don't.
But I remember.
You don't have to, but you can use the brush and sneak around.
That's
and kill.
just stealth.
I
mean,
the
best parts of that game were when you got to take a spear and you stab it and you stab it. When you know that thing's gonna break, you chuck it.
Yeah, that's true.
Chuck it, because that's like a deadly, like almost a one-hit kill on anything.
Because you got what, like 3 uses out of each of them?
Yeah. And then by default, that game didn't give you a heads-up display or like show you how much ammo was left in any guns you did fire.
Right.
It was super cool. And all the easiest portions of the game, and sometimes the best parts of the game, were when you got to be King Kong and just fight giant monsters.
I forgot about that. You do get to sometimes punch the dinosaurs as King Kong, too.
Yeah.
It was a really well-balanced game. and had no business being that good.
I enjoyed the first Harry Potter movie video game.
I guess I did too.
Did you not? Did you not? It was a weird, like, third-person, like,
Yeah.
ability shooter thing.
Yeah.
With, like, Quidditch mini games and a
little bit of
platforming.
platforming and collecting.
The old PlayStation era was a lot of collectathons that they don't go away from, honestly, to this day. But, like, you gotta get all the beans, Harry.
That's right, the beans.
All the bots,
the beans!
beans! And then you can use them to buy unlockables. Okay, that's one thing I wish we still did. Buying unlockable things that don't actually... that could either really help the game or just mean nothing.
No, you gotta buy them with real money now.
Yeah, but I just want big head mode to have big head mode. I don't want to pay $5 for big head mode.
I liked the idea that all of these kids had pockets of unwrapped sticky beans that they were using for transactions.
Well, they're jelly beans, but yes, they were jelly beans.
Just in their pockets. They didn't have them in a package. They weren't individually wrapped, Joe.
It's magic. It's magic.
Dude, magic doesn't make preservatives.
It can. It absolutely can. If magic can literally reset a room to be clean and have things repaired, magic can definitely stop things from being sticky.
I can't make a call on the quality of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone because I feel like just young enough that anything was going to be enjoyable if it was Harry Potter for me. You know?
That's fair. I am just enamored with how many...
Just the massive amount of them.
You know what's crazy? Is that there's a recent trend starting from, like, right after 2010, right? Where we decided just to make video games based off of movies, based off of old movies.
Yes.
Like that's
like the Ghostbusters game.
Yeah, the Ghostbusters game came out in 2016. That
game
was a good game.
Good. That was a good game.
Fun. That was fun.
They did the proton packs like correctly.
Yeah.
It was
Friday the 13th is a very popular game right now.
Yeah.
It's very stupid, but it's fun.
It's fun.
Apparently there's a game called The Mummy Demastered that came out in 2017.
There's a big nostalgia thing going on also
it's
for
a
like
Metro.
Oh, dude. You know
Hold on. I think maybe you should look into this.
What?
Just as The Mummy Demastered is a Metroidvania video game based on the film The Mummy. Oh wait, no, it's based on the new Mummy.
Oh no, fuck the new Mummy. Give me Brendan.
Ew, gross.
Give me
Brendan
Rachel.
Fraser comes back. We need more Brendan Fraser in our lives.
Aladdin, dude. Aladdin.
The Aladdin
Did
video
you
game
ever
was
play
hard as fuck. I beat that game like 3 times. I'm
Which
still
one?
proud to say I've done it. The good one.
All right, well, hold on now, because this is going to be a point of contention, possibly.
It's not.
Which one is the good one?
The one on the Super Nintendo.
No, it's the one on the Genesis, Joe!
The one on the Genesis had nothing to do with the fucking game. Had nothing to do with the movie.
No, you got it backwards. You got it backwards, dude. The Super Nintendo one, while it has very good mechanics, does not have the music from the movie, does not resemble the movie.
What?
The Sega Genesis one.
Capcom Aladdin.
The Capcom Aladdin game
is the best game.
Is good, but the Sega Genesis one is better.
No, it's not. You are so wrong. Hold on. Hold on. Aladdin Sega Genesis. I need to see this. I need just to...
Watch some gameplay, because that shit's got the Aladdin music. It's got the Aladdin characters.
The Aladdin music does. It has the characters in both. What are you talking about?
It does not. They got little sprites that don't look anything like Aladdin.
What are you talking about, Eric? Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Are you absolutely sure?
I'm sure.
I think you're wrong. I think you need to look up
and let me tell
Aladdin
you why I'm
Super Nintendo from Capcom.
Let me tell you why I'm sure. I took the Sega Genesis one and the Aladdin one. I put the Sega one in my Genesis. I put the Super Nintendo one in my Super Nintendo, and I switched back and forth every level to have a direct comparison to the games last year. I played through both of them simultaneously. It was a lot of fun. But the Super Nintendo one doesn't have, I mean, and so it's much more like Prince of Persia-esque, like original Prince of Persia, because you get like a little bit of momentum when you run. There's like a crazy level when you're like flying with the genie.
Stop. Hold on. What? I think you're No, wait, so your version of Aladdin runs around with a fucking sword?
Well,
That's the one you choose as the one?
He does have a sword.
Yeah, he has a fucking scimitar in the game. He doesn't fucking have a sword in the movie.
I just prefer that game.
You're so dumb. You're so dumb. Everything you like is dumb and I hate you.
I'm mad about this. That game, here, hold on.
I don't care. Hey everybody, how you doing? Doing good today? I hope you're all having a wonderful time. He's wrong.
They do both have the art on the box, but yeah, you're right. He does have a scimitar here.
He has a scimitar in the game, too.
I know.
Which is not what he does.
Doesn't he use like a little knife sometimes?
No! He throws apples!
So, but as far as the history of Aladdin, the game goes, Capcom was not able to obtain all of the rights that they needed to make the game. I think in part because Virgin had the direct licensing for Aladdin. And you could look it up, but I think that if you look at the like story of it, like look at all the art here. That shit looks like Aladdin.
That's the same thing.
Look in here. Look in here. You see any Aladdin in there?
I see it on the. You didn't show the fucking box for that game.
It's in there. I don't have the box.
Yeah,
boxes
so
Super
fucking
Nintendo, boxes for Super Nintendo games are expensive. Boxes for Genesis games are not usually as expensive. I love this game, dude. And I like this one also. I like the Super Nintendo one. I do like it. But this is the frickin' Disney game.
No, it's not.
It is, dude!
They both say Disney's Aladdin.
I'm telling you, if you
they both say Disney's Aladdin.
If you go and read about the history of the Aladdin video game...
I'm not talking about your history. I'm talking about what it feels like to play the goddamn game. I played it at your house, motherfucker. I played the new Super Nintendo version of Aladdin at your house and beat it at your house. That's one of the 3 runs under my belt.
There are some licensing issues, but what I do like though about
we're not talking about licensing issues. We're talking about whether or not the game is better.
I will agree with you that the movement in the Super Nintendo Aladdin is very fluid and nice, which does feel very Aladdin-esque. It's like Prince of Persia. It's like original Prince of Persia. It's good, but this shit, I don't know. I think it's just sort of my affinity for that type of I don't know. I like the real cartoony Sega Genesis platforming kind of games, like the I guess the Lion King. I prefer a little bit, even though that's a much more similar game on the Super Nintendo and the Genesis. I still prefer the Genesis version for the graphics a bit. Earthworm Jim, that kind of shit. I just prefer that in a lot of ways. Overall, though, I'd say I prefer the Super Nintendo for its, like...
Super Nintendo is a fucking platformer. You go from left to right, they feel good, and that is the game of the time, especially for the reason, like, the kids playing that game at that time were kids. They didn't want a fucking Aladdin with a sword doing quests, exploring Agrabah, doing... What the fuck is that? I would have played Zelda if I wanted to do that.
Listen,
and Zelda would do it better.
All I'm saying is in the Sega Genesis one, you get to kill people with a sword while it goes beep boop. Didn't
you just complain about whether or not that is Aladdin or not? Aladdin doesn't go around killing people with swords, motherfucker.
He has a sword fight.
When? Does he have a sword fight, Eric?
This guy,
When?
the head of security guy. Where is he?
No, he doesn't. Abu picks up a sword, drops the sword, and then they run away. Did you watch the fucking movie?
I mean, I have watched the movie, yes. Does Aladdin
does not have a sword fight in his movie.
Maybe I'm thinking
fucking insane.
Maybe I'm thinking of the Good Times version.
Good Times version?
And this is unrelated to video game movies, but there's a whole I guess sort of it's a cash grab thing. There's a whole production company. I don't think it's Good Times that did it. They released the VHSs though. They're like they're the distributor maybe, where they basically would come out with knockoff versions of whatever animated movie came out. So there's an Aladdin, there's a Beauty and the Beast, there's like an Anastasia one, I think. There's but anyway, there's the Aladdin one, and in the Aladdin one, he goes to a beautiful garden in the secret in the Cave of Wonders. He's not allowed to look at the princess under penalty of death, and he may use a sword. I don't recall.
That has nothing to do with the Sega Genesis versus the Super Nintendo version of the game. The Super Nintendo version of the game was an amazing platformer that had you fight Jafar at the end, and it was awesome because you had to get the boulders to hit Jafar in the face. It was a very good use of platforming and fun. And then there's that beautiful bonus level where you're flying around. You do the scene with Jasmine, except you're doing it to collect things. Cause
that's right.
Do in all video games.
Right.
Does the Sega Genesis version have that?
I don't recall.
Do they have a whole new world scene? If there's no a whole new world scene, you can suck my dick.
No comment.
Is there any carpet flying scenes in that?
Yeah, I think so.
Is there?
I believe there are.
That the fucking Battletoad 2-esque fucking.
I
love it.
I prefer the gameplay mechanics of that.
I like how easily you back down. I love how easily you back down. How you're like, no, you're stupid. I'm like, no, I just like it. I just like it better.
I mean,
Stand firm.
I know. I prefer the gameplay mechanics of the friggin' Genesis.
Aladdin doesn't have a sword.
Version.
The only time Aladdin has a sword.
He may not have a
Kingdom
sword,
Hearts.
but it's reasonable for him to have one.
No, it's not. He's a thief. If he had a sword, he would have been executed a long time ago instead of like. He would have been a bandit, not a petty thief.
I'm pretty sure he at least uses a sword to defend himself for like a second in the movie.
I think he uses a sword to try and free Jasmine from the hourglass, but then gets picked up by Jafar anyway.
I am
sure
not.
He doesn't go around murdering people.
I am not.
Pretty sure he doesn't do that.
I am not relinquishing my opinion of it when I give a little. I just want to hear your opinion, Joe. That's all.
My opinion is that you are a soft, feeble-minded, weak boy. Do you know who you're messing with? I am the Lizard King.
I think I can do anything. I think that the Sega Genesis game is better. I enjoy it a lot more. And I'll tell you what, that comes from me back-to-back direct comparing the two games.
Okay, I've got a very important question.
Yeah.
Are they the same type of game?
No, I think that...
then why are we comparing them?
I mean, they're both platformers, I guess, but I think that...
Are they platformers?
Yeah, I think they're both platformers.
Or is one an action-adventure game and one's a platformer game?
I think they're both platformers. Well, I guess that there's a little bit more action-adventure in the Sega Genesis one because there's a little bit more like combat and stuff.
From what I briefly read, there were quests and exploring Agrabah City.
Yeah,
that's action-adventure.
Yeah, you're right. There's platforming elements in the action-adventure of it. So they are different types of games, and they can both exist peacefully, Joe. But the Sega Genesis one is better!
No,
it's better!
No, it's not.
It's awesome!
It's not. You were a Sega kid, clearly.
No, I really was not. I did not have a Sega...
Don't tell me more about how much you want to fuck Sonic.
You know what I did have, though, is a Sega Pico when I was like a really little kid.
What?
A Sega Pico.
What the fuck is a Sega Pico? That sounds made up. That sounds not real.
So a Sega Pico is a console that Sega made for like preschoolers, where it was like a laptop style device that had a pen and a drawing pad, and then you put a book in the top part. I think it was a book. I think it was just a cartridge. I can't remember if there was a book element to it. But then you plug it into the television and you use the pen to control the games on the TV. And there were things like a Winnie the Pooh game, and there was a Sonic the Hedgehog game, and there was Richard Scarry game, and I was like 5, and I loved that shit. But I would still say I'm not a Sega kid. I had that Sega Pico, and then the first console that I got was a Nintendo 64, actually. I just mooched off of my neighbors. I had neighbors that I didn't care for, really, but they had a Super Nintendo, and I would go over there and use it.
My parents bought the Super Nintendo for themselves.
Nice.
I grew up watching them play Mario. And
that's cool.
Donkey Kong Country. My mom loved the shit out of Donkey Kong Country.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My parents are old as balls, and they bought an Atari 2600. They're boomers, so.
What can you do?
And they didn't keep it. They didn't keep it for me.
Well, like they were gonna know you're gonna be some weird freak who collects old shit.
I know. I do have a lot of old shit. They were like, "Why do you want to keep all this stuff?" I have all their records.
You have all their records?
Yeah.
Oh, like actual records.
Yeah, like vinyl records.
I thought you meant like their records. Like I have their old like dental history and their doctor's appointments. Like, why the fuck would you keep that? I don't think you need that from like the 20s.
No, I don't have their dental
records.
records.
Are not from the 20s.
I guess maybe someday I'll inherit their dental records when they die.
You can burn them. You can burn them. Well,
but no, they're not from the 20s. They're from the 50s. But they didn't keep their Atari, which I'm a little bit sad about. Does Star Wars Episode 1 Racer count? I guess no, because it's just like a scene in the movie.
No, I mean that's a very niche. Like it's only existent because of a scene in a fucking movie.
But Star Wars Episode 1, did you play that?
I think that was a terrible game.
I liked it, but see, and that's the thing is like I can't tell because I was not.
I remember correctly. I remember like you started off as Obi-Wan in the fucking like room being filled with poison.
Yes.
And like it's stupid and annoying. And then like the combat does not feel good.
No.
And neither does blocking lightsabers feel good.
No. You can kill the chickens though on Naboo. And I got stuck on Naboo, so here's something about the Star Wars Episode 1 video game. Is remember when you had on the backs of like the manuals a phone number that you could call, and it was like, we'll give you hints. Here's our friggin' hint line. So I got incredibly stuck. Yeah, here it is actually, right in the Aladdin manual. If you're listening to this, I have here the phone number that you can call for the gameplay hotline, which I'm going to try to call in a second. But I called them.
Call it now because we got 2 minutes left on the episode. Let's see.
Oh my god. All right.
Let's see if they answer.
I called them for Star Wars Episode 1 and my dad stood over me, limiting my time. He was like, you better not take for fucking ever. And they were able to help me. They did help me. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Calling the Aladdin helpline.
Thank you for calling Vagary Drinker. We're sorry, but you have reached an unassigned extension.
A what? They're calling what?
Vagary
Drinker?
Press 0 and you will be connected to an operator who can assist you.
Okay, maybe I can press 0 and see if they'll help me with Aladdin.
While I transfer your call. Hello, and thank you for calling Vagary Drinker. Our operators are unable to assist you. If you know your party's four-digit extension, please enter it now. If you would like to reach your party by entering his or her name, please press 1. Otherwise, please press 9 to leave us a message.
Oh, I'll leave a message here.
Your call. At the tone, please leave us a message, and please make sure to include your full name and complete telephone number, including your area code. We will return your call at the beginning of the next business day. Thank you for calling Vagary Drinker. Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Hi, I got this number from the Aladdin manual for the Sega Genesis, the gameplay hotline, and I was calling because I can't seem to get Aladdin to jump the gap in Agrabah. There's a man in puffy pants on the other side, and he keeps throwing little swords at me, and I can't traverse this part, and I was hoping that you would be able to help me. Please give me a call back. My full name is Stephen McComber, and my zip code is 85213. Thank you. It's very urgent. I have been stuck here for weeks. Goodbye. I wonder if I'll get a call.
Fakery Drinker is a top 50 firm.
Top 50 firm of what?
It's legal consultants.
They're legal consultants.
Yeah. With more than 1,300 experienced attorneys, consultants, and professionals in 21 locations. They have the strength to solve your most complex transactional, litigation, and regulatory challenges.
Oh, they are going to transactionally litigate my ass. Oh, no. No, they'll just leave it. Maybe somebody will have a good laugh at the office on Monday.
I hope so. That's fucking crazy. Or maybe they don't listen to it. Maybe they just this number called. Call them back and see what they need.
If they do call back, I should be playing the game when they call back and be like, "Hey, you got me at a good time because I'm fucking stuck. I'm stuck hard in Aladdin."
Hopefully, this isn't illegal what we just did.
Because they would know.
They would know. So once again, my name is Eric Gallagher.
Don't say that on here.
You have to beep that.
I didn't even beep the last time that I had.
Why didn't you beep the last one?
It was long. It was hard.
Oh, you lazy sack of shit. You lazy piece of shit.
I'm gonna beep that one though. It's at the end and it's me.
Yes, it's at the end. It's you. Oh, you didn't beep the other one. Oh, you piece of shit.
I'll edit. Find it, and I'll beep it, and I'll re-upload it.
That was your job.
I don't want to find it. It's hard. That episode was so long. I don't want to listen to us.
All this needs to be gone. You need to cut all of this now.
Happy New Year, everyone. Merry Crimbus. Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, you're going through all of them. Listen, everybody. Thank you. Goodbye.
I will have been litigated by the time you see this.
Absolutely.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.